Hey everyone, Margarita here. I'm going to do this video on the extensive damage, the over $100,000 in damage that the people who stayed in my house while I was gone had caused. I had already released, I believe it was just one video so far on it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you the videos and the pictures through the phone because there's so many and some of the clips are so short, and then I can kind of explain what each one is. So that's gonna be the easiest way for me to get it on film versus trying to like piece together different clips and such. But the damage was found the first couple days into November of 2023. And then it took a couple of months to get them out because they refused to leave, even though there was mold that had taken over the entire house, and it went unmitigated for a couple of months before I found it. So I want to take the picture. I'm going to show you the pictures of what I found. This was not the first day I found it. I believe these pictures were from a couple days after that. So now, mind you, this lady was trying to say that I needed a plumber. I've got leaking pipes everywhere. There's all these problems that my house has. First off, this house was built in 2004. So at the time, the house wasn't even 20 years old. Not only that, but I just remodeled everything 1 year prior, right before she moved in. So there was no leaking pipes of any kind, and I lived in it for 5 years. So there's no, prior to that. So there was no issues. Her children had caused 100% of this damage, her and her children, and their negligence, their criminal negligence. And so I just want to show you, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you what I found when I came in here that day. She was demanding I needed a plumber. So I brought someone over who was qualified to do the work, or to at least assess what had happened. Let me put it that way. I brought someone who was qualified to assess like what had happened. And not only that, but I lived in the home as well for a very long time prior to that. So I already knew how the house works, what should and shouldn't be, especially because it was all remodeled as well. So between the two of us, we pieced together what exactly had happened in here. But I'm going to start with the first picture. This is a picture of the sump pump in the basement. This is part of the reason the water did not drain from the basement, was because there was Legos and Coke cans. Numerous Coke cans were in there, along with other trash we had pulled out of there. There is a lid that goes on there. There is a small hole, which means her kids were shoving stuff down in there. Now, this is one of the main reasons I did not want anyone in the basement. There's numerous reasons. That was my area. All of my stuff was down there. On top of that, I knew too many things that controlled the home were in the basement. The furnace, the sump pump, all the switches and knobs to everything, the hot water tank, everything's down there. And it's out in the open because the basement is unfinished. So there's numerous reasons why they were not supposed to be in that area of the home. Now, mind you, the home was, it's a total of 3,000 square feet. 2,000 square feet upstairs and on the main level. So that's just the first picture. That is part of the reason that the water did not drain properly once it all came crashing down from the kitchen. Now this is a look up. When you're in the basement, you're looking up to the ceiling. That is the bottom of the kitchen floor looking up from the basement. And then this is the same in a different spot. It was dripping down for months on end. So the day I took these pictures, it was still dripping from above. You can see how wet it is. So the day I took this was all still dripping. The wall was still wet on the one basement wall in the background. There were still puddles on the floor in the basement. And then this is a view from afar across the basement. You can see the puddles. You can see the numerous puddles. You can see the couches. They'd moved my couch. Those are my couches. They'd moved them around to catch the water that was pouring down from upstairs to make it look like that's not what was going on. Now there's a tornado-shaped wet spot on the wall in this area right below where the dishwasher pipe is and where the sink is in the kitchen. So that remained that way until the mitigation team came and did some work. It took a couple of weeks to get rid of all of that. However, the mitigation team didn't do that good of a job, so I'm still actually in need of work being done on the basement. I am still waiting for the additional funds to finish it. I did get the mold under control out of the whole house, but that is one area that still has to be worked on. This was the kitchen cupboard from, now this is several cupboards down. This means the water would have had to have flooded at least a foot, because this cupboard doesn't touch the kitchen sink cupboards. This is actually next to the stove. And this is almost to the across the kitchen. So this, you can see where the water is in there. And they did remove over a foot of the wall from the pantry across the room right by this cupboard, in a couple spots, and several walls where the sink and dishwasher were. They removed several full walls and then a foot across the room. So that means that the whole kitchen flooded up to a foot all the way across the kitchen. This was directly under the kitchen sink. You can see how much water sat and accumulated inside the cupboards. There was high levels of mold in these cupboards. They immediately came and ripped all this out. As soon as I got mitigation in here, they came and ripped all of this stuff out in the kitchen. I just didn't want them to do any more damage to the home, so I told them to leave the rest of the home. Otherwise, they would have tore everything up for me. Now this is a couple cupboards over. This is behind the dishwasher. You can see the broken dishwasher pipe. So I don't know if someone pulled it out and tried to push it back in on purpose and snapped it because the kids left the kitchen sink running for a long period of time, or if she was just messing around with it that dumb and snapped it, pushing it around. So this is a door. It goes to the room next to the kitchen. Look how filthy dirty that is. That's disgusting. That was all brand new upon them moving in. It was, the finishing touches were put on the day before they came here. This was the rug that was in the upstairs bedroom that was meant for the upstairs, because her children like carpet. So she wanted carpet for them to play on in the basement because she wanted it to be like a real rental. A real rental. Okay, but you signed the lease and you're not to be in the basement. I already told you everything that controls the home is in the basement. Everything down there is mine. There's no need for your children to be in the basement when you have over 2,000 square feet on the upstairs and the main floor. There's over 5 bedrooms, a living room, a family room, 3 bathrooms. There's no need for anyone to be in the basement anywhere near my stuff. So this sat down there because there was so much water for so long. There was at least 6 inches that filled the entire basement for over a month before it began to drain. That rug was filthy. It was soaked full of mold by the time we got it out of there. I actually had to pay other people to get it out the day that we took these pictures and found all this.
Yeah. See how she's acting? She gave me like 20 excuses.
Disgusting. Disgusting. You know? And this had happened over 2 months prior to me taking these pictures. This is what it still looked like 2 months after the incident had occurred. She's just acting like this stuff's just going to go away without mitigation, without removing any of this stuff. Everything down there was covered, soaked in water. Those couches fell apart on their way out the door. Everything down there was ruined. Puddles everywhere. You know, that's like wet sludge and puddles. There's just, from every angle, numerous of them still. Like, she had no intention of even telling me any of this had occurred. You know, she tried to act like she couldn't get a hold of me at one point. However, she had Section 8, so all she had to do was contact Section 8, and all they had to do was send me an email if she felt she couldn't get a hold of me. And or they would have done it, you know, they would have did it, or they would have gave her my email address, or both, or they would have called me. I do know I switched phone numbers at one point, but they still would have been able to get a hold of me by email. At no time did she ever try to contact me, but you can see how disgusting it is, just dripping over the course of time, dripping down from the ceiling. Just really disgusting. I had to remove all of the subfloor. There was about 15 subfloor boards between the kitchen. The main area had about 16 subfloor boards, I believe, that we had to replace. Maybe it was 18. I can't remember exactly, but it was quite a few subfloor boards had to be done. Had to be redone. We had to rip it all up, take it all up before any flooring could ever even be put down, due to how severe the situation was. Now, okay, so now I want to show you some other things, because she was also posting Facebook posts and pictures and such, in which I was not on there like the entire time. I don't really even use social media at all. I do have a Facebook. I don't really use it. But So I had missed all of this. Like, I guess it had, one post was right after she had moved in. I missed the entire thing. So this is a little over a year after that when I'm discovering all this. Now, mind you, I do live in extreme chaos for many reasons. There's many crimes going on, many situations. I'm chronically sick. So there was no reason I would never find any of this. So this is her on her birthday a few months prior to this. And it says, "Happy birthday to me. Got the keys to my spot downtown. I'm thinking Airbnb, boutique, studio, private salon, makeup bar, creative space. The list goes on." She has nothing. She has no business running. All she has is assistance, has no plans on getting her life in order, just keeps having kids. And she stays pregnant and keeps having kids, and she has no form of income whatsoever. And she has nothing going for herself without the ability to do any of this. So everything online, this is like a whole mental disorder, because you would not just keep having kids like that with no ability to take care of them whatsoever and no income whatsoever. And none of the fathers are in the picture except for one. So this is her post. She was going by the name Jennifer Singer at the time. Now I want to show some pictures. So I'm going to go as I have them, like, in the phone, because it's going to be easier. But this is the ceiling in the kitchen. You can see there was so much moisture and water and damage in the kitchen that the ceiling was ruined. It's still stuck that way. That's one of the things I'm arguing with the insurance over. So everything in this whole area is done except for that ceiling part right there. Now you can see, like, the door frame is breaking apart. That was all brand new right before they had moved in. You know, that's where the water had traveled from the kitchen into the next room. Once the kitchen flooded and it sat that way, you can just see how dirty the kitchen floor is, how permanently nasty it is. And everything, like I said, the whole house was remodeled. All these wall plates were freshly put on, every wall plate in the house. There was at least 15 to 20 broken wall plates throughout the home once I came back in here. And now the stairway, you know, that was all nice, completely redone. Holes, substances, handprints, coloring, food and drink of every kind, all up and down that entire hallway was looks like their play area. You can see a drink splashed up on the wall near the top of the steps on that wall. You can see it. That's liquid of some sort, water or drink or something. But this is not the appropriate play area for children either, especially younger ones. She has children of all ages. So this was just like in the hallway. Everything's disgusting, dirty, caked in filth, handprints, dirt. This was my master bath. Mind you, I'd lived here 5 years. At no time did this ever look like this prior to this. So the mold had taken over the entire around the bathtub. And it's still, I had peeled up all the caulking. Right now it's up still. I haven't put it down because I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to regrout it if possible. I may have to abruptly sell the home, so I'm not really sure if I'm going to get to that. I may just recaulk it and sell it. But if not, if I'm able to keep it and carry out my plans, then I'll probably regrout and then caulk and take care of that, because it's stuck like that even after I pulled it all up. So then I found the stairway. These were missing, and that was freshly stained, both rails freshly done, and her kids were just hanging on them and putting their hands all over them, playing on them. You know, more broken wall plates, stains on walls, holes in walls. The carpet's disgusting. All the carpet and padding had to be immediately ripped up upon us coming back to once we got the keys back. That was basically the very first things we were doing, just so I could, like, address further. There was all my stuff was still in the basement. I still had to address that. And so we had to pull everything up, all carpet padding. Now these walls were fresh. Every single wall in this house was fresh. This is by the stairs. You can see in my previous video, this whole area was completely redone the day she moved in. That she tried to clean it, wipe it down. There's holes everywhere. Just food, substances, sticky stuff. I found tons of spitballs, toilet paper spitballs. So that's what they were doing with the case of toilet paper that I left behind. I left behind a restaurant-sized toilet paper case, and they had used it all making spitballs out of it. And then I'd left a restaurant box full of restaurant trash bags that I'd bought during COVID in case we ran out because they were unavailable. For emergencies. And she complained that they were too shitty for her and her 7 kids, that she couldn't do anything with those because they're so shitty and cheap. But when I came back, they were completely gone and she used them all. And that's funny, but you know, those bags are meant for high volume restaurants. They're fine for restaurants, but they're not fine for you and your 7 kids. And then you use them all anyway. So this is the downstairs bathroom. They busted every light in every bathroom except for one bulb. All of these were brand new. This is the kitchen chandelier, and one of those, I circled it in one of these pictures. One of those had the glass casing completely broken off. Now, due to the water damage and the mold and the moisture sitting in that area for an extended period of time, there is rust on 3 of those lights in that area. So that is part of what I'm looking to have replaced from the insurance that they missed. You can tell there's rust and moisture and water damage on all of them. Every set of blinds had been scrubbed at least 6 times, and the windows, because they were so caked full of stuff. Teeth marks on numerous sets of blinds. These were all brand new. Cost thousands of dollars to do my whole home. This home was redone for me and my family, not for somebody else. And they should have never been in the home anyway, because this is due to my mother's crimes and the crimes of the city of Flat Rock and Ford. But there was teeth marks on every set of blinds. The top pieces were missing. The sticks to open the blinds, a lot of those were missing as well. Those were all serious issues. Now, this is when the mitigation team was tearing up the whole kitchen and ripping out the flooring, the linoleum, and the layers that were in there. It was so moist and molded and disgusting because it had been smoldering under there for so long that this is what it had looked like. And they had to take it out layer by layer. You can see it's still wet. Now, this is probably about 10 weeks from the incident that these pictures are taken while the team is ripping everything up. And mind you, they did refuse to leave the home. So this day they did leave the home. And then she had asked the regular workers, not like the boss of the company or anybody who knows anything, asked if it was okay that they stay there. The homeowner's insurance said everybody needed to get out. Nobody should be living in there with the conditions like that. And not only that, but who are these guys you're asking? They're workers of a company, of a mitigation company. I own the home. She's already been emergency evicted at this point. And because some guys told her they can stay there. No, you can't. You've done extensive damage to the entire home. I have to salvage what's left. Not only that, they only tore out the kitchen. The whole house needed to be mitigated, except for because it took time to get them out. I only allowed them to do the kitchen and dining area to a certain degree. And then I came back and did everything else because I didn't want further damage happening to the structure of the home and the rest of the home in that period of time. So she's asking, if it's safe to be in there. No, the levels of mold were like past the limits of the reader. Now, this is mold, just like we're behind where the kitchen countertop was. Those cabinets were all full of mold, everything. And we had just redone all of those. So that's all mold, moisture, mildew, water just sitting there. And those guys who worked for that team, they didn't know anything about the levels of mold. The owner of the company knew about them. I'll show you the reader in a minute. The owner of the company is the one who came in here with me initially before I hired them. And we're the ones discovering what levels are where and what's going on. This is where the kitchen sink was. That's all mold. Those walls all had to be taken out. Those pipes all had to be cut, clipped, sealed, everything. Layers of moisture and mold smoldering between the linoleum, the subfloor, coming down the stairs, all that, coming through the floor, coming into the basement, disgusting. And then the mitigation team did knock these knobs, which caused them to drip a little bit. And then she acted like that's what caused all the damage. And it was not. They told me they did that. She just wasn't there. And I didn't know any of it. I mean, you can't run off that anyway. Like, that's not even what happened. And you can tell that that's not what happened. The fact that she tried to act like all this hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage was due to this one small, tiny dripping pipe. She had actually filmed a fake video. I don't know if I still have it. She had filmed a fake video after I had my friend come out here and fix it. So it was no longer dripping, at least until I got the work situated with the home. And must have been dripping water from a cup above the camera or something, and made it look like it was still leaking. And I believe she did that in case her kids did damage to the exposed piping, because apparently she doesn't watch them or anything. Now, this was the kitchen after the mitigation team had pulled all the flooring up and all the layers. This is what was left. You can see the subfloor was completely stained. It's still wet. This is the landing at the bottom of the steps by the front door. Disgusting. This is looking up the steps. Now this is comparable to the home in Pontiac where the 4 children were pulled out of there who were left home alone for years. These children were frequently left home alone. None of them were ever taught any proper skills to conduct themselves or be home alone or to take care of anything. And they're all just running wild with no direction. That entire rail was hanging off the wall. If I had left this house here for 4 years like that, that's what I would have found when I came back. I don't know if the kids, you know, the kids probably would have been going to school and such, but I would have found the home in a similar state. This is directly comparable to that because this was only 1 year. Those kids were in there for 4 years alone. But they destroyed every single thing in the home. The only thing they didn't break was the chandelier that my dad hung, which it took them like an entire day to do. It was very dangerous. It's very high up. See, more broken wall plates. Like I said, everything was brand new. Coloring. Who even gets a hole up that high? So the only thing that wasn't completely destroyed, but I still can't clean it all the way, is the chandelier in the front of the house, in the front window above the front door. But you can see how dirty the walls are, caked full of different substances in different, when I show it from different angles, you can see the different substances that were found. Like, what even is this stuff? Let's see. Right here. Like, what is that? This whole house was completely remodeled. All the walls were completely clean. Everything completely redone. No prints of any kind, no holes, no dips, no dents, nothing, none of that. This was the master bathroom, how she had left it the day that the mitigation team was here and I went around taking pictures. Like, that's disgusting. Like, you know, a McDonald's bag just chilling, garbage just chilling everywhere. You know, clearly this is a mental disorder. You would not continue to keep having children. You know, you have 4, 5, 6, 7. You don't just keep having kids with no income, no ability to care for them whatsoever. And just keep having kids and then think that that's okay. Just because you get pregnant doesn't mean you're supposed to just keep having kids. There should be laws for people like that because that should not be going on. Because it's the rest of the public who pays taxes who pays for the kids. This is still master bathroom pictures. Disgusting. Yeah, it's like another angle of the bathtub with all the mold. Same thing. Quite a bit of mold there. This was my master bedroom closet that they had completely destroyed and trashed that too. That's not what a closet should look like. No kids had any clothes in any closets or drawer. There was no dressers whatsoever. No clothes hanging in any closets at any time. You can see the liquid dripping off of the walls in this picture, onto the stairs, onto the carpet. So they're just playing on the stairs, throwing drinks up and down, liquid up and down, all different stuff, food, drinks. Here's a video walking up the steps. Those stairs were completely redone and cleaned by the lady who worked for me for a year and a half. She did a really good job cleaning them. They were all clean, which you can see in the previous video that I posted. All of that was 100% clean. Look at all those marks on the walls. Everything. And it stunk so bad in here. The smell was putrid. It made people sick. Every time someone came in to help me for months until I got it under control, everybody was sick. I actually had to go to treatment. I lost my hearing due to the high levels of mold. It was extremely bad for me, particularly. Now, this is above the front door. Let's see if I can show you this. I don't know what this is. It looks like oatmeal, but it's like 15 feet from the floor. Like, what are you even doing? What is that? Like, you know, what are you doing that your children are doing this to my home? Here's another short video. More broken wall plates, dirty windows, food and drink in random places it doesn't belong, all over the blinds in every room. You know, they didn't have no furniture hardly. They had a couple couches, no dressers, no, you know, no beds, no proper bedding. They had that one mattress. I believe it was just the one mattress. They had these flat little, like styrofoam looking things or spongy looking things. I don't know what it was, but they were all tore to pieces. There was nothing even left. So they had no belongings. But you're flossing on Facebook that you own this house that's worth $500,000, which she posted this herself. This is not what I'm saying. This is exactly what she said. I'll find it and show you. But this is the high levels of mold the company found when I finally brought them in here. That one is 55.8. That's behind the dishwasher. This was after the mitigation team had came. And there was still stuff dripping from spots because so much had flooded upstairs. There were spots that were holding the water that was not gotten to. And then here's in one of the cupboards, the particles, the mold at 36.6. She's screaming at me outside on a Sunday morning all early that there ain't no mold, ho. Ain't no mold, ho. That's what she's saying to me. At 9 o'clock in the morning, out front in the driveway, screaming at me when the mitigation team came to clean everything up. Acting like there's no damage to the home, there's no mold. And then after the mitigation team came, I had cans of paint stored down there because I had ongoing work going on with the house. I was almost done. Her kids went down there and spilled the paint all over the floor after the mitigation team already cleaned everything up for 2 weeks. They were cleaning. And then they scooped it up with shovels, a volleyball net. They rode my daughter's bike through it. They used curtains to wipe it up. I'll show you those if I can find those pictures. Now, okay, let's see here. All of the insulation in the basement had to be pulled. It was all full of mold. I had to do all that myself. One of the readings was 99.9. It was above the limits of the reader. The reader could not read that high. Again, right here, 99.9. She's screaming at me that there's no mold. There's no. She tried to call me and nonchalantly and act like they'll leave in a few months. No, you're not leaving in a few months. This is an emergency. You need to get out of the home. You've destroyed the entire place. The whole home needs to be mitigated. And she's acting like there's no problem. 43 point, I don't know what. CPS did nothing about this. Numerous people called. No one did anything about it. Her kid's living in these high levels of mold. She's portraying herself to own the home, have all this money online, on her social media. Everything is mine. She acted like it was her and God that did all of this. Her children need to be taken from her. Wherever she moved to after this, one of her kids' school called me as an emergency contact telling me I needed to come get her kid. I have no contact with these people. They destroyed my entire house. Why would I come get your kid? She doesn't have a support system, so she had to put somebody down because she also doesn't have a working phone all of the time. So definitely, like, you know, somebody needs to look into this. These children need to be removed from her care. She's just acting like that she's going to leave in a few months. No big deal that any of this had happened. You know, numerous things here. She had her friend posting some stuff on Facebook about how it's safe for them to be in the home. No. So, and then she put, LOL, I heard someone say I was trying to flex in the home I currently live in. They just don't know I lived in way bigger and way better. So she literally posted that. There it is, Jennifer Singer. Posted that on Facebook. She literally has nothing. No income, no future, no plans, no job, no way to take care of any of these kids. And has nothing going for herself. And never will be able to because she's going to continue to stay pregnant or stay having these kids with no way to care for them. And you have nothing. So, I mean, posting that after what was found was found. And to act that way was extremely absurd. Let's see. I actually had to call Facebook and have them remove one of these posts. She had it pinned to the top of her page, portraying herself to own my home, saying she owns a $500,000 home. I had to call Facebook and have it removed. They thought I meant she screenshotted or stole a picture off my page and put it on her page. And I said, no, in real life, she took the picture and put it on there. That's mine. So they did remove it. However, they didn't remove it from her page altogether. They removed it from the top of her, where she had it pinned. So I will find that in a second. And then she has the nerve to text me and say, hey girl, I was just thinking, you just received $1,900 2 weeks ago and will be receiving another $1,900 in 2 weeks. And you'll be keeping my $1,800 security deposit as well. How are we going to make this a smooth move for me and my 7 children? I can't be jerked around and robbed, LOL. Now I can work on getting out, but I will at least need that payment they're going to give you to move completely out of your home. Why would I be giving you back your rent payment that Section 8 pays for? Not only that, your bills, because you're running up all the utilities, are excessively high, way higher than they should be. And so what you're giving me for rent isn't even enough to rent this home. This home rents regularly without utilities for $4,000 a month. That is market rent for this home, regular rent. Now, she was only giving me $1,900, and that was utilities included. They're running them up past all that. Doesn't matter what my payment is at this point. They're running everything past it. Why would you think, after doing all that damage, that I would be giving you any of your rent money back when you don't even pay the proper amount in the first place? And you haven't paid any, but why would I do that? That makes no sense. And then she says, I think that would be fair. Then we can get out of your hair and save us any legal troubles. If we do that, then it would be perfect. You don't have to worry about me coming back. I'll return your key. And then we'll tell Section 8 that I'll be out by 12/31, so they can stop January's rent, whatever. Let me know if you think that's fair or too far-fetched. If so, I can let them know, and they'll send me the form or whatever. And then she just calls me and basically says she'll be out in February, which makes no sense whatsoever. You would not be in the home in an extreme urgent flood that flooded the entire home. This is what she looks like. Her name is actually Jennifer Fulop, not Jennifer Singer. I'm sure she's going to change her name on Facebook because she has lots and lots of followers after I post this. But this needs to go viral because this is who she is. This is what this dirty bitch does. You ruin somebody's life, somebody who's already fought for their life and barely kept her and her son alive. That's what me and my son are the homeowners. We barely kept ourselves alive, and we're in an emergency and had to leave our home abruptly. And that's what you do during all that. And you were given an opportunity to get yourself together and your kids in order to have a life and a future. And you chose to do nothing but lay around and fuck somebody. That's not my problem. So, you know, all these problems, they busted apart my entire door. The door doesn't even shut or lock. The strike plate's gone. The whole door is tore up. Everything, all of it. Now, let's see here. This was the inside of the stove. My appliances were only 2 years old at that point. I just bought them all. And that was after I scrubbed it 6 times. Couldn't get it clean for the life of me. I had to throw everything out. Her kids were putting stuff in the microwave to the point where it was blowing up, obviously. There's fire burn marks in there. And let me see if I can find the post where she's portraying herself to own my home. This was the laundry room. The drain had actually come disconnected from the wall. And I specifically asked her if the laundry room was flooding. Well, because I was actually walking through the house showing a friend of mine the different pieces of damage, different areas of damage, and things that needed immediate attention. And she was acting like there was nothing wrong with the laundry room, and then her kids were telling her I was fishing around in the laundry room, and she's asking me if I'm in there. Like, what does it matter? I own the fucking place. She's acting like she owns the place. I'm allowed to go wherever I want. I own the house. So they flooded the entire laundry room, is what it was, repeatedly, because the drain pipe came disconnected from the wall, and she didn't want to say anything because she couldn't show anybody the damage to the home that had occurred. So she didn't want to let me know that there was an issue. So she kept running the washer and dryer without the drain pipe connected, and the clothing on the floor was built up several feet. So the clothing in there would just catch it, and she would just throw clothes in the washer and wash them as they go and use the dirty ones to catch the accumulating water because the pipe came apart from the wall. But that was, that was their doing. And I did replace the ceiling fan in the one room twice within a short period of time. This was the second one. I'd replaced the one immediately. One of her kids had broke it immediately upon moving in. Then this is brand new. That's what I replaced it with. They broke that as well. That company was kind enough to send me a new piece for that. And then, some strange white substance on the wall. I will show a couple of the videos as I walk through. I think there's 6 short videos of me walking through the home, catching a lot of this damage. That was my brand new vanity in the master bath I had just put in for myself. And she had done all of that damage. Here's the snow shovels that they tried to scoop. Her kids are just down there playing unsupervised, still not supposed to be down there after it was all cleaned up. There's the curtains. You know, the hula hoop, you can see the tire tracks, the shovel marks. Broke several shower knobs in here. I had replaced one already, came back, found another one broken, and the one in the other shower was broken. Things don't just break like that. That's not normal. So, I mean, what was going on in here was disgusting. Like the screens just broken. All this stuff was just repaired, just done. That's what it looked like after they had mitigated and taken out the kitchen wall. I'm trying to see if I can find the one post, because it really does make a lot more sense if you could see the post of what she had done. Let's see if I can find it here. Now. So she put a comparison photo of the front of my house mixed with the place she lived. It looks like December of 2012. That I think was in Atlanta, maybe. Either way, she's trying to act like she's had way bigger, way better. That's not even hers. That was a rental. You don't own anything. You haven't done anything. You know, let's see if I can find. I'd love to show you the picture, the post where she claims to own my home. And she gets no assistance whatsoever. It says on there, no monthly checks, no child support. No, because the Section 8 assistance payment goes direct deposit into my bank account is what it was. So she did not tell anybody that. And then, you know, they made all of the mulch disappear out front. It had been there for years. There's no reason for it to disappear completely. That makes no sense whatsoever. Let's see here. See if I can catch this. I just want to see if I can find the post. Maybe I deleted it. Hopefully I didn't delete it. I'm pretty sure I have a copy of it somewhere. But this was all the mold. This was all the insulation that was pulled. Insulation pulled out of the basement. Every bit of the insulation was covered in mold. Everything had to go. All of it had to go. It was all looking like that. Let's see here. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find that post where she portrays herself to own my home, but yeah, it basically showed her a picture of the house out front, way back out front, showing a picture of the neighborhood, showing clear view of the home. We now live in a nearly $500,000 home. This is all by the grace of God and all my own merits, and I don't receive anything from anyone. And really, it was all mine. She had did that right after she moved in. I was just completely unaware of it due to how busy I am and all the things I have running and everything I have going on. I did not know until the damage to the home was done a little over a year after she had posted it. It was very significant. Like, it's probably on her page. If you look up Jennifer Singer, it's somewhere on there in the summer of 22. It would be under her posts, I believe, because Facebook did not delete the initial post. They just took it from the pinned area when I, said that was mine. That's when they removed it. Let's see here. I just want to check one more spot if I can find it. Yep, here it is. Pin post right here. Pin post, Jennifer Singer, best birthday ever. My family and I now live in a nearly $500,000 home, all thanks to God. And then the next page says, this is a true blessing which came from the pure unwavering faith in one true living God. I am a single mom and do not receive any monthly checks, cash assistance, or child support for anyone in my home. Don't let these devils lie to you, with a big smiling face. I changed my life and gave it to God, and I've been truly blessed ever since. You don't get to write my story. The end. Look at this. Jennifer Singer. Check out her page. Like, share, subscribe to mine, and I will be back with more of the videos. I'm going to just upload these short videos of the damage and the work along the way, some of it. But this is absolutely absurd that this was even allowed to go on. This girl is a joke. She's out here with 6,000-7,000 followers. I don't know. She's got all these people, and they really think this is her life and that this was all hers. No, everything's been mine all along. She caused all this damage. That's why they do not live here. So I will be back with another one, and I will post those videos of the work along the way that I do have currently, because it's still about 70% done. So it's not all the way done, but I'm going to post some of it. I'll be back. Thanks. Bye.